Good. Do a 30-second countdown.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
We are live.
Oh, the camera's down there. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm trying to get in a good headspace after having watched that video from Donald Trump visiting the California today, and I'm trying to get in a good headspace after that, and it's kind of hard. So I'm hoping this helps.
I haven't watched that yet, but I'm assuming he threw out some water bottles and paper towels.
No, he just said, stupid things. Same old, same.
Oh, usual. Okay.
Yeah. Usual stuff. But
Usual.
so, are we waiting for any other guests, or what's the?
So we are gonna have one more guest, at least one more guest coming,
Nice.
maybe two.
Okay.
And just get the audience going here. Yeah. Okay. Other guests said 5 more minutes, so we can probably start a little bit without him. Give a little background.
Okay. Yeah. So why don't you tell us what we're all doing here?
All right. So last October, I had a sit down chat with Travis MCP and Michael T. Panetta from Tech Examined, and we were talking about the then just released, or it wasn't even released yet. They gave out the review units for the Pixel 4 versus the then several months old Galaxy S10.
Okay.
And I mean, this thing was so fresh that the day before we were playing with Andrew Edwards' review unit, he just flew over with it. Yeah, it was a bit of a late night thing too. I think we started around 11 o'clock.
Oh gosh.
And by the time we were done with the intro, it was 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So just for anybody that's just coming in, I want to say thanks to the 5 that are watching right now. Appreciate you guys being here, joining me and Adam Doud from Benefit of the Doud podcast.
Subscribe, smash that bell. No, we don't have.
You can't do that with podcasts, man.
I know. I really want a bell.
Leave him an Apple Podcast review.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, subscribe. Leave me an Apple Podcast review. Still want a bell though.
Well, put a bell on your website. I
could. Ooh, that's a good
you
idea.
could.
What if I put a bell on my website that took you to a link to subscribe? Oh, that's good. Yeah. You see, you're always thinking there. I like it. All right, I like it a lot. Let's do this. But not now.
Yes, please, not in the middle of the live stream. So we are waiting for at least one more guest. He should be here in a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But we are talking. Obviously, it's an old conversation. We've since had the Galaxy S20, the Pixel 4a, and at the end of the month, the Pixel 5 is going to be announced.
And don't forget the Note 20.
Is that even a phone?
The Note 20, the Galaxy Note 20. Yes, it's a phone. Apple boy.
I don't think so. I think it's called the Note 20 Ultra, and the other thing is just fake.
That's fair. I mean, that's not incorrect, but
I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah. And I don't remember if you mentioned this, but there is always the Pixel 4a. My review just went live on benefitofadoubt.com. So you should check that out too.
Yes, there definitely is that. And part of the reason you are here tonight is because of that.
Okay. All right.
For you to add our insights to this current state of the Pixel versus Galaxy situation.
Sure. And I mean, it's a fair comparison because last year when the Google Pixel came out, I wonder the price point was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $800 or something like that. Am I off on that? But like Google did kind of inject itself into the flagship conversation when they did that, um and so like it's not a disingenuous comparison. Like if you had said in the old days, like, oh, let's compare a Nexus to a Galaxy, that's just not a good comparison, because unless of course you're talking about the Galaxy Nexus, but anyway, that's not a good comparison, because it's they are targeted at two different uh, customer bases, I guess, if you will. But when Google throws down the Pixel 4 at $799 and says, we're just as good as, then it becomes a fair comparison. It's kind of like when Apple throws out, every time there's a new iPad, which is probably going to happen tomorrow, they're going to compare it against the laptops that are out there. They're going to say, well, this iPad performs at 35% faster than comparably spec'd, or not, they don't never talk about specs, than comparable Windows laptops or something like that. And so then like reviewers all rush out and say, oh, well, this is not as good as a laptop. And then everyone's like, well, you can't make that comparison. Well, yeah, except Apple made the comparison. So you see, I told you, Adam was a little bit low sound wise. And no. Mike said I was fine. Hang on. How about that? Hello. Is that any better?
I mean, you still sound good. Audience, let me know. Does he sound loud enough?
Do I sound better? But anyway, but my point is, when you put yourself into that position, into that conversation, then all bets are off, and you better, bring the thunder, or you're going to go home with your tail between your legs.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that, I feel that's where kind of like, I don't want to ruin the video too much. I really suggest we're going to drop that video 8:00, top of the hour. I'll drop a link for you guys to go watch it right away. But where the Pixel 4 kind of kicked itself was that it let a device that had 3-4 months on it. You sound good, by the way.
Okay, great.
Had 3-4 months on it, like outspec it.
Mm-hmm.
They made sacrifices where they shouldn't have made sacrifices.
Arguably. And well, and it should be mentioned that later on, I want to say April, somewhere in that neighborhood, I want to say the higher ups at Google had a sit down with everybody on the Google Pixel team and started talking about, hi, Mike. I'm sorry. Mike.
Welcome to the stream, Mike. Tech Examit has joined us.
Hold on.
Here's a matching Google result.
Oh, shut up, Alexa. Anyway, so Google had a sit down with like the entire Pixel team and started talking about like what was good and what was bad about the Pixel. And and that, to me, the fact that they had that conversation suggests to me that Google thought there was a little bit of bad in the Pixel, and there was, and it's called SOLI, and it's called battery life. And those are like the two major flaws with the Google Pixel 4. So when people started talking about, should you get a Pixel 4, the resounding answer was fairly no, because of those two major issues. So, hi, Michael. I'm sorry, you kind of caught me mid-thought there. So,
can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Okay.
I can. Yes.
I can.
All right.
Audience, you're the one that's judging, so.
I just wasn't too sure, and now I'm all shiny. Get rid of these lights.
You are shiny, but that's all right.
There we go. That's better.
There you go.
So,
all right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no worries. I don't know what made me restart my computer, but now all of a sudden it was taking its sweet time to let me get back in. But it is what it is. So, what's going on?
Not much. We had a conversation last October regarding the Pixel 4 and S10.
Yes.
And as we discussed, the problem with that was Travis.
Yeah.
Travis's intro. The technology did not want to let me finish that part of the video in a reasonable amount of time.
No, it did not. No, never mind. I'm not gonna bring up the chocolate that you were eating earlier, but
nope.
With some good
Probably.
Giardello's chocolate. It was really good.
It was delicious. But yes,
yeah.
You were in California though, so I mean, like,
oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't know what you mean.
That
no, I don't
understand.
I thought you were referring to chocolate that you were having on the night that you made the video.
Don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough.
No idea what you mean.
It's a liberal state. Don't worry about it.
I'm just talking that he was tired, is what I'm saying. I don't know.
I really was. It was late. We didn't finish the video until what, 3?
Something like that. We were up for a ridiculous amount of time, and it was not good. It was not good at all.
I'll tell you what. I had the late checkout in the morning. Noon. I was still packing at 12:30. I was so done.
Wow.
But no. Hey, no, before we get into this, I do thank him in the video, but I do want to thank Jay Littman for doing his best with that night. I mean, this guy was like at some point holding a light above his head for like 20 minutes to try to give us the best angle. We're working with a lavalier mic and my camera balanced on top of luggage on the bed.
It was it was interesting.
Sounds like a typical convention setup. So well done.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And this was, of course, after everybody else had like packed it away and like left. So we had what we had. We couldn't borrow anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Biggest issue with Google and the Pixel is timing. If you're going to use an SoC that's months old, you aren't going to succeed. Pixel with the new SoC needs May, June, the latest.
I don't know. I mean,
arguable point, but
arguable, but nothing coming out right now is a budget. So,
well, okay. How are we defining? But I mean, you mean like budget, or do you mean like mid-range budget? Because
he's talking 5 and the 4A 5G. Never mind. I was thinking he was talking about the 4A. The other stuff, yeah. I mean, a little. I mean, it's bumping up with the big boys and everything else that's coming out. I mean, you know, who has any idea when the Wing is going to be coming out? But that's something on a different level altogether.
Planet.
I mean, exactly.
No, I'm legitimately excited about the LG Wing.
Oh,
I just want to say that because that is like, you know, and yeah, it's like it. I've been saying this for years, and I know a lot of my colleagues in the space have been saying it, but phones have been boring for kind of a long time, just from a design standpoint. Like, what they can do is exciting, but like, you know, oh, look, a black slab. Oh, you know, I mean, there's a reason that Juan Bagnell's Reddit group is called our glowing rectangles. So, I mean, it's basically, you know, the glowing rectangle. So it's like, you know, just to see LG trying something new, including, you know, the dual screen case, including the LG Velvet, including the LG Wing. LG is doing some cool stuff, and I'm very excited about that. And it's not just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
Did you guys watch the presentation today?
Yes, I did.
Did you see at the very end when they were going off?
I did.
They showed something else.
This they did, and I was wondering if anybody else was going to talk about that.
I did watch something slid apart.
Yep.
It was all in black, and a light shined up, and it went back down.
You know what? It kind of
slid up and went back down.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? Back in, I want to say January, somewhere in that neighborhood, TCL was showing off a bunch of foldable designs that it was going on, and one of them was this like a phone that kind of like pulled out into a tablet, like you actually like expanded the frame and the screen kind of unrolled and came out.
Yeah.
The thing at the end of the LG presentation made me kind of think of that, and I'm like, that's interesting. And it was kind of cool because it was almost like an end credit scene from an Avengers movie, you know? It was
exactly.
It was like, ooh, what evil villain did we just see?
Well, you know, it's funny. They over in what is it, IFA in Berlin. I got the email up here. They sent me out a digital press kit for what they released, or I should say, announced. And they announced what were the things here? Device images. The TCL Tab Max, TCL Tab Mid. They've got this Project Archery 3.0, which is smartphone eyeglasses, smart glasses, and they called the TCL rollable display. So they're still talking about it, but there's nothing, you know, like they had that fake one. It just showed the concept of it. So they're still moving forward with it. So I don't know what the limitations of that would be. My first inclination would be durability. But
do you recall why? Do you recall why they were showing off only a non-working demo of that phone at the time with the reviewers in New York? It's because at the time the only working prototype that they had was in the center of Wuhan province. Yeah. So they were not going to get that phone in time for them to show it off. So
El Jefe, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated.
Definitely.
What up, El Jefe?
El Jefe's the man.
He is.
Yeah, well, a lot has been changed this year because of all of that, and you know, whatnot. But you know, it was funny. I was talking to my buddy yesterday, actually today, and I got to commend the NFL for their broadcasts yesterday. They did a really good job, even though there was no fans in the stadium. The way they covered the games and the way that it just seemed like that they were just kind of letting things go. They weren't constantly bringing it up. They were just letting you have an escape, and it just felt normal. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool that they did that, you know, in these uncertain times. Sure. And, you know, they just did a real good job, just not constantly reminding us that there's a crap storm occurring around us as you're trying to watch this game. And they didn't constantly go to the stands to show cardboard cutouts of people, and they just covered the game, and I thought that was really cool.
And I'm more of a baseball fan than a football fan, but
so am I. But I watch.
So like same basic principle. And can I just say that the people running the soundboards in those games are freaking artists when it comes to crowd noise. I mean, it's amazing just listening to them, because you legit think that there's like a crowd going on there. Those guys
I didn't even realize that there wasn't in all. Now I know there's only a few stadiums allowing fans in, and the games I was watching yesterday were not. They were not letting them in. Washington, the football team, and against the Eagles. But anyway, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So been off topic for a long time.
Enough of that.
So where we should start here, I think, is we have our opinion. We had our opinion on the S10.
Yes.
What way do you think that in regards to the S20, the S20, not the S20 Note,
okay,
do you think that Samsung has gone in a better route or step backwards?
In what sense? I mean, like the S20 was an upgrade over the and we're talking S20, not S20 Plus or Ultra, or I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I understand the boundaries of this conversation.
So let's start at price point. The S10 started at, I can't believe it was 900 or 1,000. I can't recall.
You know, I can look that up for you real quick.
I think I had something here.
It released at, where's those prices at?
Because the one I have here showing me the price now, which is 900 new from Samsung.
So the Galaxy S10e was released at $750, while the S10 was $899.
$899.
Okay. So $900, where the S20 starts at 1,000.
Correct. Now, I in terms of like value proposition, I think the S20 definitely took a step back in that category, because I mean, the tough part about answering this question is that everything that Samsung focused, and like Samsung focused all of their efforts around the S20 Ultra, and the S20 and the S20 Plus were more for like, I don't know. It almost wanted it was almost like Samsung wanted to say that the S20 starts at $1,000, like starts at $999.
Yeah.
And even though everybody is going to be pushing the Ultra, because the Ultra offered a much more compelling package for comparably not too much more.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of like if the Galaxy S20 existed in a vacuum, then it's definitely a step back in terms of value proposition, because the cameras weren't significantly better. There was an upgrade in SoC, and I want to say the RAM and storage were probably in the same neighborhood, if not.
Oddly enough, the RAM was the same.
Okay.
And they actually only offered 128 on the S20, whereas the S10
RAM got bumped up to 12 gigs.
Oh, this information
from 8 to 12.
Oh,
was that on the S10 though? Not on the Ultra, because I know the Ultra had 12. So we just need to make sure we have our ducks in a row there.
And here's the
Android
thing.
Central popped up here, and it's talking the regular S20.
Okay.
They claim it has 12 compared to the S10's 8. But yeah, like you said, they got rid of a higher tier storage. You have to move up to the Plus to get any higher onboard storage.
Mm-hmm. And that's BS, because listen, we know storage. I mean, come on, storage is storage. This stuff is cheap,
right?
When it comes to that, I just think that's really a bad move and a bad look when you're doing that. It forces you to make that decision if you just don't have it. That's not cool.
It's disingenuous.
Extremely.
So, but anyway, so like in terms of like overall value.
Hey Cliff, how you doing?
Hi Cliff.
Hi Cliff.
That's that's co-producer Cliff from the Benefit of a Doud podcast dropping in. So
gotcha.
So anyway, so like the whole value proposition was probably a step back if that phone existed in a vacuum, but it didn't. It existed as the younger, jealous sibling of the S20 Ultra.
100%.
Yeah.
But,
so then, go ahead. No, please. Your show.
No, finish your thought, please.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I wasn't sure if we wanted to compare that to what we're going to see from the Pixel 5, which is coming.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
There, yeah, definitely.
He's the host.
Yes, I'm trying.
I'm joking. Right now, I'm trying to look to see this memory crap on the.
The other thing about it, they removed the headphone jack. I don't know if we brought that up.
That doesn't. I don't care about that.
I mean, it matters less and less, but
yeah,
it has to be brought up that they started it with the Note 10, and this year's whole lineup has been sans headphone jack.
Even the cheap ones for the commoners.
I do want to say one thing about the S20. There's a 5G version which has 128 gigs of storage.
I think that's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, connects to sub 6 5G.
12 gigs of RAM. The LTE version, apparently there's an LTE version. Only 8 gigs of RAM at 128. So they offered a 5G and an LTE.
So really the only difference between the LTE version of the S20 and the S10 is the processor and like little bit bigger battery and pretty much the same cameras.
Right, but they force you to get the 5G one if you want the 12 gigs of RAM. If you want the LTE one, which I don't even know. Now you're talking, where is that available?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That may not have been available in the States.
And this is what happens when we talk about phones that are 6 months old.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We're digging and looking, and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on?
All right.
I mean, you want to talk about the Galaxy S20? That was like, I don't know, 17 phones ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about that. It's sometimes if you don't get it out right away, forget about it.
Yeah. So
you guys took the time, and darn it, I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah, no, we're good.
I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah, we're here. We're doing it.
But because someone's gonna comment, oh, the 5G one, it's the LTE one. which, because 5G has advanced so much since last year.
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
So much better. I actually have to do a little bit more research into this, but I had a viewer comment pretty upset. Former Sprint customer who 3 months after the merger bought a Galaxy device, and T-Mobile is disabling the sub-6 5G for Sprint customers. I have to look into it for verification, but
did that person buy a Galaxy S10 5G?
Supposedly.
Really?
I got to find. I'm going to try to find the comment.
Yeah. No, I mean that is legit. T-Mobile did shut down the 5G band support for Sprint devices, and that includes the Galaxy S10 5G, and that includes the HTC 5G hub that they were selling for a while there. And I know because I had the opportunity to test both of them, and I specifically asked Sprint when they rolled out their 5G network, is this phone that you're releasing today going to support the T-Mobile when you make the merge? And they told me yes. So, and I still have
I remember you telling me about that when we made the video.
I still have the audio from it too.
T-Mobile needs to honor that and upgrade those people for free.
Yeah.
That's BS.
And I want to say that T-Mobile does have a plan in place. I want to say that there was some type of exchange program
that's good to
or
hear.
Something like that. But I don't recall what the specific details were of that. But yeah, when the news came out that the network was getting it shut down, I was actually on the All About Android podcast the week that came out. And that came up as one of the news stories. And I'm like, ooh, I've got this audio and I couldn't find it. So, but I'm a PC pack rat, so I knew I had it somewhere. It was just a question of actually finding it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Now I think about it. Benefitofadoubt.com. I'm pretty sure I actually posted a story on my website with the audio from that clip. I'll have to see if you guys talk. I'll see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, let's move on here. I want to kind of talk about, in my opinion, the things that are actually fixed between the flagship Pixel 4 and the mid-tier, budget-friendly 4A.
Right.
For starters, I love that they continued the trend of the headphone jack from the 3A.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I'm a little sad that they didn't have a Pixel 4a XL, just because we had so much fun on the old Android Authority podcast substituting in Guns N' Roses song titles for Pixel 3a XLs. Like anytime it was referred, it was a rule on the podcast. You had to refer to it as, the Pixel 3, you could be mine, or the Pixel 3, don't damn me. So, the other rule was you couldn't repeat a song. So we actually had kind of like a spreadsheet going of names that had been used. So, and I think I have a theory that there was no Pixel 4a XL because I believe Google had the same rule and they just figured it wasn't sustainable because they're not producing enough albums these days. So that's my theory as to why there is no Pixel 4a XL.
I mean, they could have just played the freaking Beverly Hills Cop theme song over and over again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
wrong.
Yeah. Only a little.
Right.
Cliff said you have the audio clip.
He has the audio clip.
Actually, am I allowed to leave a chat in here, or do I have to go to your YouTube channel and
you can try? I'm not that familiar. It does say post a comment here.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
To do it though.
Hang on, let me see if I can just log into the channel and just ignore the.
All right. So anyway, yes, getting back on track.
Yeah.
The Pixel 4a.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Cliff also says the 4a 5G is the XL.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that yeah, and there was a piece in Android Central, I think, that was talking about how the code names kind of morphed from Totally agree. That like the code names morphed into like the Pixel, because there was supposed to be like a Pixel 5S at one point, but that just became the Pixel 5, and then the other code name, which was like, I want to say it was like Redfin or something. I'm just making stuff up, but it was something in that neighborhood, and that became the Pixel 4a 5G.
Okay. So that's actually interesting. I didn't realize that. So
Okay.
it is going to be. See, that's actually good to know.
And that makes sense why in the little teaser thing on the Google Store website, one is bigger than the other.
Right. But I thought they were just assuming to the 5. I didn't even look close enough to realize that. But anyway, Pixel 4a.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pixel 4a.
Pixel 4a.
I love this thing. Love it.
Oh yeah. Me too. And you know, it's part of my review. I kind of start off my review by saying like, I love this phone, but I have no idea why. Like every phone that I've reviewed, that I've really had a really strong opinion about, I could point at it and say, here, this is what I love about this phone. It does X, Y, Z. And like, you know, there's nothing that the Pixel 4a does that another phone that exists doesn't do as good or better. And yet, the fact remains is that this is probably my favorite phone that I've used this year for whatever reason.
I mean, listen, for $349, you get a camera I feel is as good as, maybe not as good as, but up there with the iPhone 11. Or I'm sorry, the iPhone 11 Pros and stuff like that. Not as good, but listen, you're going to take a picture with this phone and you're going to post it somewhere. No one's going to say, I said this in my video, no one's going to say, oh, what phone did you take that with? It's horrible.
Right.
No one's ever going to say that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love messing around with low light photography.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you can set this thing on a tripod and it will shoot for 4 minutes with a app wide open, I mean, is amazing for $349.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, for me, that's worth the price of admission, and the size, and it just, when I said to someone, if you're going to look for a phone and you don't like Apple and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is the phone you want.
Oh, absolutely. And the only thing I don't like, and this is just a little foible of mine with the Pixel 3a and just the astrophotography mode in general, is that it's automatic. There's no way to intentionally turn it on or turn it off. And so, like, you know, when I was out on the side of a road next to a cornfield just waiting for the people with banjos to show up, and I'm trying to get this thing to go into astrophotography mode so I can, you know, take some sample shots and like get the hell out of there. You know, it was just like, it was driving me nuts because I couldn't get it to go. And
what you doing here, boy?
Yeah,
right, exactly. I was waiting. Like seriously, someone could have shown up with a shotgun, and I would have just disappeared off the face of the earth. Nobody would have known where I was.
No.
So, but
I agree.
So I wish there was a way to intentionally do that, even if it was a pain in the butt. Like you had to go into like 2 different menus and like intentionally turn it on. It would be worth it just so you can get that shot that you want.
I agree. So. I mean, I've always been a pure Android fan to begin with. I'm not, you know, I guess I'm boring.
No.
But I just think that the things run smoother, and I like updates. I like, you know, not having to wait for Samsung to go through and put its finger in it, and LG, and, you know, and all those guys having to put their touches on their OS version or skin, and then it has to get approved by the phone provider. It's just like this red tape thing, and next thing you know, the next phone's coming out and you still haven't gotten the last year's OS, and people will sit there and tell me that are Android fans, nah, you're wrong, and I'm like, actually, no, I'm not. Because
it took I had a OnePlus, well, I still have it, OnePlus 6T on T-Mobile. It took 7 months to get the Android 10 update.
Yeah, that's unacceptable in this day and age. Unacceptable. And
well, especially since I bought the Pixel 4a, and 2 weeks after I got it, I had Android 11.
Yeah,
I haven't done it yet because I wanted to do my video on what I got it with, because that's what I've been using. I heard or read that with Android 11, they're going to wireless drive. You don't have to plug it in
For Android Auto, you mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that only works with compatible head units. So
okay.
I'm not sure like what exactly is what creates a compatible head unit.
Okay.
But yeah, the framework is there, and it would not be surprising to see within the next year or so that suddenly Android Auto was pretty much all wireless all the time, as long as you had Android 11. So
Right.
but and it's actually funny because this week I ran across a crowdfunding campaign for a dongle that actually makes Android Auto wireless, and I was just like, well, that's unfortunate timing, but okay. But if you don't have Android 11, or if you have a Samsung phone that you're going to have to wait 10 months to get Android 11 on, then maybe this is a good $65 purchase. But
yeah. I had a company send me out a wireless dongle for iPhone to
Okay,
do
yeah.
that exact same thing. And my truck was a 2017, and he asked me before, what vehicle do you have? You go, oh yeah, this will work great. I got it. Didn't work.
Didn't work, huh?
I emailed him. He emailed back and said, can you send me a video of what it's doing? Shot a video, sent it to him. Never heard from him again.
Huh.
In fact, I emailed him several times after that. Never heard from him.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Was that a crowdfunding thing, or was that just like a product?
No, this was a product, and as a matter of fact, let me see. You guys want to keep talking? I'll look for it real quick.
Sure.
Certainly.
Sure. So I mean, and the nice thing about the Pixel 4a is just, and I'm not even going to say that it's it's the stock Android experience, because I've honestly never been too much of a fan of that. Like, I mean, it's a personal thing. Totally. I get that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But just the fact that this phone works so well with just about anything that I want it to do is just, it's just really amazing that it only costs $349 or $349.99 or whatever it is. There's just, I have a couple of little tweaks that I would love to make to it, but those are definitely things that I can live with.
Right.
Yeah. The thing here too is when they went from the flagship to the mid tier, they dropped the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pixel 4, the nightmare was that facial recognition software. It killed the battery immediately, made everything else like crap.
Mm-hmm.
Ditched that. Now it's a battery powerhouse. You don't have to charge it for what, day and a half, 2 days?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it's
I
still
can kill it in a day.
Normal use though, not like you're reviewing it, like a normal use case.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so if you're not me that has 7 different email accounts on it and 5 different Slack accounts and yada yada yada, yeah, you're probably gonna go you could probably go in a day and a half, but honestly, why chance it? Just plug it in when you go to bed.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a battery champ, but it's definitely it can stand up to a day of moderately heavy usage for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
And,
that's a definite plus when it comes to what you're getting on something like that. And again, I always go back to the price. I just can't. It's just I'm amazed.
Right.
It's
right.
not stock Android. Could have fooled me.
Right. No, it's the Android that Google wants you to have. So I mean,
Right.
it's not a stock experience. That would be more of that would actually be well, no, because Google's built in a lot of their Pixel stuff into it. So no, that totally makes sense that it's not a stock. It's not far off.
It's not far off. It's a much cleaner.
It's got a few of its own bells and whistles compared to other things.
But that's Android. I mean,
they
built the phone around the OS is what really, in my opinion, makes it a better experience.
And I mean, for the most part, you're not really going to go into anything these days with a skin that's going to ruin your experience.
Right.
Everything else flows pretty well.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely skins that are, have some interesting interpretations on how to do things, especially once you get into more Chinese manufacturers. But yeah, if you're talking about the Samsungs, the LGs, the OnePluses, then you've got a very usable skin on all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going off the two that I own, and then all the mainstream, Pixel, Samsung, LGs. And then personally, I have the OnePlus 6T, the TCL 10 Pro.
Yeah.
All those really decent, smooth skins.
Yeah, and they're not bad. I mean, I certainly don't have anything bad to say about them, but you can definitely. Now, what I like about the TCL is actually when you swipe up and go to the menu, I like how it's organized. It's just clean. It's just a nice, got the bar at the top and everything is in order, and then it just breaks down from there. And I actually recognize that as like, hey, this is actually really nice. I like the way that they implemented it instead of just
the way the app drawer is built up.
Yeah, just a drawer and the apps are in there. Not that that's a bad thing. It just the presentation looked nice. I was like, oh, this is not something that I've seen before with a different Android devices, and I liked it. Not to say that it isn't out there, but I noticed it on this. And for a budget phone, that's pretty cool that they were able to go that far.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I very much enjoyed my time with the TCL 10 Pro, so had to move on, unfortunately, because that's the job. But
yeah, exactly. My daughter's using it now, so.
Oh, there you go.
She likes it.
There you go. No, TCL had some really great ideas, and it's funny. Like TCL is a company. I want to put this together, and I haven't done it yet. But like I've been kind of kicking it around in my head. Like I want to write down the different features from different skins that I've used that I miss when I move on to something else. Like for example, with TCL, the flipping between folders. The horizontal swiping between folders, I love that, and I really miss that. On Motorola, the double chop for the flashlight, stuff like that. Like I want to write down, because like it seems like every OEM has that one little trick that it does, and you kind of miss it when it's gone. So I want to document that at some point.
I really love that smart button. I would say that.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's cool.
Still, the only downside to them having the smart button and having the volume rocker on the other side is snapshot.
Okay.
Yeah,
you mean
you have to like change the screenshot.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have to change it, because doing this is the worst.
Well, I usually do like a two-handed thing on that, like just
like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can understand what you're saying, because you're used to different sides and you can do it, but
you do a little squeeze.
Yeah.
That is nice. That is nice when you can do that.
Yeah.
But
that's those are the things that they come up with, so you can say get me instead of that one, and
the differentiators is what they like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. But
I don't know anybody who has ever walked into a carrier store and asked the sales rep, I'm looking for a phone that I can really easily take screenshots on. What do you got?
Yeah. They want to know price. We all have to, how much? How much is
I
this?
feel it's just the woes of a reviewer, but
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about the regular consumer, which is
they're not too concerned about it unless they're, copying their Snapchats.
Yeah,
that's not
good point.
Doud UX. I should start working on that, and we can put together like all the good stuff from like everything. Like
there you go.
The double chop and the swiping between folders, and the independent volume controls on LG phones. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll build that all into Doud UX. So and then I'll sell it on the App Store for 99 cents.
I thought you were going to say $99 here for a second.
With sponsored ads.
With sponsored ads, of course. Well, I don't feel like I would be in the big time if I wasn't sending ads through the UI to my users. So because Samsung does that now, LG does that. Right? Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
You do the ads as well as additional purchases inside the app.
IAPs, of course. I mean, Oh, you want a double chop for the camera? That'll be 99 cents.
99 cents. But the whole thing was 99 cents. Should have charged $99.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can unlock everything for $10 if you would rather do that. That's
There you go.
But
just don't run it separately from the App Store.
Right. Yeah. You get kicked off, and then we'll have to make sure Google gets its cut.
It's okay. Just run it in the Galaxy Store.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can bypass Google's payment system, but I have to email them first and let them know, hey, just so you know, I'm going to bypass your payment system. What you going to do about it?
Okay.
I mean, that is apparently the right way to do it. So,
Right.
so yeah,
That's fun.
All right. So let's move along to the Pixel 5 rumors.
Mhm.
okay.
So
This
let's
I'm
go
actually
there.
interested in. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to this. I really think, this is from what I've seen with the Pixel 4a. I'm interested to see exactly what they do with the Pixel 5. And I mean, they pretty much got the info, everything out there as far as down to the chipsets that are going to be in these things
Yeah.
as part of the rumors go. And I mean, it looks impressive. I'm looking at it, and they have the memory at 128 8 gigs. I don't know if that's necessarily right or not. I would hope it was more than 8 gigs if this is going to be something that's
Oh, it won't be. No way. No, Google has never been one to overload the RAM on their phones. That's historic.
Oh,
There's
okay.
historical precedent for that. I would
I didn't
actually
know
be
that.
surprised if it was 8 gigs, and if it was only 6, it wouldn't shock me. But I did hear from several sources that it is going to be up to 8 gigs. So
Up to 8 gigs.
Okay.
Okay.
and I
That
shouldn't
makes
say
sense.
I heard from several. I read several different places that said it would be up to 8
Okay.
gigs. So I don't want to be like I'm not a John Prosser here. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like what concerns me about the Pixel 5 is that the Pixel 4a 5G is going to exist, because that's going to add a $150 premium on top of the Pixel 4a, seemingly just for the purpose of having a slightly bigger screen, slightly bigger battery, and 5G capability. None of which do you need. Having just experienced the Pixel 4a, you don't need any of that stuff for
Right.
$499. And people will probably still get it just because it's got the 5Gs, but I mean, it's not there yet. It just
No,
it
it's
just
not.
isn't. It just isn't. And so then why that concerns me is taking that a step farther is if the Pixel 4a 5G is going to be $499, that means that by extension the Pixel 5 is probably going to be at least $599, if not more. And I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be hovering more around the probably $549, $599. No, wait. Am I right at that? No. I'm thinking $649, $699 neighborhood.
I think I've been hearing $699 is around the neighborhood it's supposed to be at.
Right, which is, I mean, it's not Samsung Note 20 territory, but it's still
That's going up against the Velvet. Not that that's anything to.
So it's cheaper than their last phone.
Right, which is good. I mean, it's good to go in that direction.
In the right direction.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, but I honestly don't think. I mean, I don't know what the Pixel 5 is going to bring that's going to be amazing enough above the Pixel 4a to want to double the cost.
Right.
And I can't imagine what the Pixel 5 is going to bring to do that.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if we're in agreement that it's supposed to be getting a Snapdragon 765G. Is that what you saw?
That seems like it would make sense. Yeah.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second.
Because if it had an 865, I don't see a $700 price tag. It'd have to be at least 8.
Probably.
What? Definitely. That's not. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just I'm not fond of the Pixel trying to. I mean, I guess they're going to bring premium materials, glass on glass, probably more interesting colorways than the flat black that you can get the Pixel 4a in. So I mean, I guess there's that, but I don't see any of that being worth twice the price, especially considering how good the Pixel 4a is.
Yeah,
that's the part that's I'm just scratching my head over.
Right.
So
well, I guess that's the price if you want a different color, and I don't know what they want to appeal to that marketing.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna throw in like an ultra wide and a telephoto, maybe if they're gonna have like a triple camera assembly, maybe that makes more sense. I don't know. I'm just, having a hard time putting my finger on exactly what the thing is that's going to justify that much of a price increase.
Right. Was the Pixel 4 XL and the Pixel 4, were they 120 hertz screens or 90 hertz?
Good question. I'm going to say 90 without looking it up.
Okay, because I'm seeing the 5, they got it as a 90 hertz screen, and that's purely between all of us, just the idea that it's their, because I thought I saw 90 for the Pixel 4.
90 hertz, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right. That does sound right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, so you're not necessarily increasing, according to the rumors, increasing any of that display usage or battery usage. So you're still going to get some decently quality return out of the larger phone with a larger battery.
And I can't imagine we're going to see Soli make a return on the Pixel 5. I can't imagine that they're going to try that, because
unless they found some magical way to fix it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a question of it being fixed. It was just a question of its usability to begin. Well, actually, I guess there was a question of it being fixed and being useful. So there were like 2 hurdles to get over there.
If it's useful, it needs to be fixed, Adam.
Even if it worked bulletproof every time, which it did not, but even if it did, I just can't see that being all that useful. That was like basically Samsung Air gestures, I think they called it. It was basically the same thing, but with radar. So,
does anybody use that? Like, come
on.
No, I mean, not really.
Like Harry Potter going.
Yeah, there's not. If you got to stop and you're trying to, like, what are you, Luke Skywalker, or, Obi-Wan Kenobi? That's
playing the thiamine.
That was the Note 10. That was Harry Potter, because you had to use that.
Right.
With the S Pen, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Otherwise, you're just a Jedi.
Exactly.
So, but yeah. So I mean, that's my main concern. Is I'm just kind of wondering what the Pixel 5 is going to bring. That's going to make, and some will argue, especially tech people. My Lord, tech people will argue that a 90 hertz screen is, the be all end all. And
I can't believe they're doing it, and Apple's not doing it on $1,000 plus phone. And
if the iPhone is at 120 hertz, I'm not buying it. Let me tell you right now. I'm not buying a phone that's not 120 hertz in 2020.
You know what? I know you guys remember this because tech, but last year, how Apple got lambasted for not doing 5G.
Right.
I mean, this was they're so far behind, they're not going to have it, and blah, blah, blah. And listen, the only argument a year later that I would have for that is the fact that my iPhone 11 Plus Max, listen, if I couldn't upgrade or didn't do any of that for the next 3 years, I'd be happy with this phone. And then 5G might start creeping into where I'm like,
fair.
That would be the only thing. But let's be honest. I mean, anyone that has that phone that buys an iPhone 11 Pro Max, if it's even going to be around when they announce these 12s, I don't know what phones are going to be in the lineup, but some carrier is going to be offering those as a half price type of deal or whatever, because they did it with the iPhone 10, which you couldn't find anywhere, but yet manufacturers were selling it for buy one, get one free, or phone manufacturer providers. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think if I were Apple, I mean, I would certainly understand the control of wanting to limit what's out there and it's not fully supported, but that seems to be getting away from them a little bit. They seem to be letting things go a little bit more. And I think that's and I know this is really weak to say this, but post Steve Jobs era, where there's a lot less things in there.
That's legit. That's legit.
And more.
I think the iPhone this year will be 5G, and I actually
100%.
I still think that's too soon. I still would not be surprised if they went out there and announced the iPhone 12 and all that stuff that was only running on on 4G LTE would surprise me at all.
No.
I would say it's probably like a 50-50 shot at this point. I mean,
Well,
I think they're gonna do 5G.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I've got 5G phones, and I live near Harrisburg, PA, and I know for a fact that that's got 5G in it. I've driven what I would consider being in Harrisburg.
Oh, sure.
And I pulled the phone out and I did a speed test and I got diddly.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. And I'm like, what do I have to stand still? Do I need to go into center of Harrisburg? Like, where are these towers?
I was in downtown Chicago a few weeks ago with a T-Mobile 5G phone, with an AT&T 5G phone, and with a Verizon.
Okay, Verizon
and a Verizon laptop, all running. All
you know how the last one went.
And I mean, well, okay, don't even get me started on that. But I just realized like I have the unique opportunity to test all 3 5G networks, and none of them were, I mean, fine. But
you can get that with LTE.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
And listen, I am in the big time minority, but when I do speed tests, I look just as much at upload as I do download, and we all know why. And I know that I'm totally just, when I say that to people, they're like, what's that for? What do you need upload speeds for?
Well, you're a YouTuber, so that's
the only reason why. But hey, listen, you're still uploading photos to Facebook, Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Making posts. It would be wonderful to have that. I know that's never going to happen.
Right. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
At least give me half. Give me 500 if you're doing this. If you're doing this 1,000, what a megabytes or 1 gig. Give me 400. Give it to me.
There it is. All in one quote.
Yep.
I love it.
And no, I watch it on a 1440p screen.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, wait, it gets worse. I watch everything in 144p anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We're not animals, man. Come on. Actually, no. Most of my phones actually historically have been 1080p. So yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm an iPhone fanboy, so I'll sit there. But I tell you what, man, when I pick up one of those phones that's a 2.5K and a little bit higher, somewhere in between there, I definitely notice a difference. But listen, I don't go back to my iPhone going, oh my God, this is atrocious looking. Listen, I'm fine with it. The only thing that I have a gripe about the iPhone 11 Pro Max right now is I feel like my speakers don't get loud enough. And maybe it's I never got it wet. I never, I have dropped it, but what's that?
I said that could be it.
That could be it. But I just don't feel like it gets loud enough. And I'm trading it in 3 months anyway, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
So I hate to cut this short, guys, but I'm getting hungry. So
we're wrapping up in less than 2 minutes. So
I was gonna say, Mike, if you have any, Michael Bender, if you have any final points, let's get to them because fat guys got to eat.
Just the only thing we really didn't get to was, them actually dropping the Pixel 4 after the 4A came out, but. I mean, there's not too much to talk about there. They got a new phone coming out at the end of the month. They know that the budget phone that they put out is going to kill it anyway.
Yeah, that's gonna gonna kind of cut their legs off despite their knees.
So then I get with the last minute here. S20, just specs wise, S20 or Pixel 5. Adam, we'll start with you, and then Michael will get to you.
If we're talking about the S20, like not the Ultra, and
because we're trying to keep it around the same price, so yeah.
And you, solely is not okay, Cliff. Anyway, if you're asking me to spend my own money, I think, given my experience with the Pixel 4a, I think I'm going to go with Pixel 5, just because I think the reason my philosophy is, if you're going to buy a Samsung phone, you're going to buy a Samsung phone for the amazing camera, and the Pixel has that and more. So you're going to get the fast software updates. You're going to get Google's feature drops that they come out with every 2 to 3 months. You're going to get a lot of extra little bonuses with Google that you're not going to see with a Samsung, and you're still going to have just as good, if not better, camera experience. So yeah, if you're asking me to pick, I go Pixel. Team Pixel. Hashtag.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Adam because, well, first and foremost, like you said, it's the camera for me, the most important thing for me. And listen, I am not a big fan of the damn phones just getting taller and taller. And the fact that the S20 is 6.2, I just think that that's just getting to that point where it's just like, ugh. And I'm not a fan of Samsung's GUI or skin that they put on their stuff. I've never been a fan.
One UI.
And
okay.
I love the idea of owning a phone that's held closer to the people that actually created the software. So my experience, I feel, will be better. I'll get longer life out of it if I want to keep it more than 2 years. So Pixel 5. 100%.
Okay. So now Bender, you need to tell us why you're gonna pick a Galaxy S20, because otherwise we're all gonna agree, and that can't happen.
Are we all on Team Pixel, by the way? Are we all in that group?
No, I'm not in there.
You're not? Oh, you need to
they don't talk to me. They like my tweets. They don't talk to me.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Google doesn't return my phone calls either, so don't worry.
So I guess to be the devil's advocate here,
oh my God.
You gotta. I'm gonna go on the other side. You gotta go with. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna bite my own foot off here.
He wants that 64 megapixel camera.
I do.
Well, and hey, there's a reason why Samsung has the market share it does, and it's not just because of advertising. It also is because they happen to make a great product. I mean, say what you want, the Samsung Galaxy S20 is a very, very good phone.
So, I have one for you that I'm actually Galaxy S20, because yes, you are going to get similar everything. Camera-wise, Pixel has a great camera. If you throw Gcam on the S20, you're going to get the same, if not better, quality. But you can't get DeX on an S20.
Ooh. You mean on a Pixel 5?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I was going to say, actually, you can.
It's kind of one of the main
I'm looking
features.
at the features here, and I'm like, Samsung DeX. I'm like,
Samsung DeX. For a lot of people, it's worth it. Up until recently, friend of the show, LeBaron Burden, he was running his entire business, Popcorn World, with his Samsung phone and DeX.
Bless his heart.
Click.
So
there's,
that's legit. That is legit.
Okay. With that being said, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. The video of us talking about the S10 and Pixel 4 is live now. I'm going to leave a link in the chat for you guys to go check it out. Go ahead, leave a comment in the comments. Hashtag Bender Live, so I know that you came from the video.
Oh yeah,
all two of you that are left, Cliff and me, probably.
That could be,
but it's okay. So, guys, go check out that video. I'd linked it right there in the chat for you. Go check it out. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Real quick, just one more round. Where can they find you, Adam?
I am at Dead Technology on Twitter and Instagram, but honestly, mostly Twitter. And you can hear me every week on the Benefit of the Doud podcast. That's Benefit of the DOUD, spelled like my last name. And you can thank Cliff for that terrible branding. It's hilarious. But it's also terrible branding. So,
all right. And Mike, where can we find you?
I am everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, at Tech Examined.
Wonderful name.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me tonight. It was a great discussion.
Yes, I love it.
And thank you to everybody that watched.
Thank you
Have a good night.
for having me.
Peace.